What are some misconceptions about my work? And I had talked about this some in the last video about what a typical session with me is. And I would say the biggest misconception is just what it means to be psychic or do these tarot readings. And so I don't really like to use the word that I'm psychic because, again, I know that that kind of sets off these certain expectations from other people. But I mean, I can't actually not say that that's not what's happening either, because I understand it in a different way than what most people do. And so to understand what is psychic, and it's just that extra sensory. And so, our senses are the sight, sound, taste, touch, and I feel like I'm smell. So those are our normal senses. And so being psychic is just when you're tapping into the extra sensory things. And so I feel like a lot of this also ties into being autistic, because I'm extra sensitive because I'm autistic. And so like my sensory system is extra like expanded. And I mean, because like already I do things like when music is playing, I can feel the music. I don't just hear the music, I can feel it. And so like I'm very particular about what type of music I allow around me. And like I was listening to something just this weekend, and it was heavy metal, and I had to tell them to stop because it was spiky. I mean, it was just like, it just felt like it was just like spiky on me. And I constantly will have like meditation music playing all the time just to keep just this, like, it's just, I like the way it feels, the energy. And so that's one of the ways that I'm already extra sensory just because of the autism. So when you think about the psychic senses, then you have some main ones are clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience. Those are the main ones that you will hear about. And clairvoyance is the one that you hear about the most. And that's the one that when people think of somebody being psychic, that's really the one they connect to, is clairvoyance. And that is clear seeing. So any of the clairs means clear. And then whatever the word next to the rest of the word is telling you where the clarity is coming in. So clairvoyance is clear seeing. You get the visions. So that's also connected with dreams. If you have, prophetic dreams, that would come into the clairvoyance. Clairaudience is clear hearing. And so that is where you will either hear like audible words, you will pick up messages from words, you will hear songs, like that's another one that will play. You can even hear voices like calling your name. There are different ways. Clairaudience is clear hearing, though it comes through audibly. Ringing in the ears, that's another one that would indicate clairaudience. Clairsentience, clear feeling. This one took me a little bit to even realize that it was happening, because it's a body type thing. So clear feeling, you just think about just your whole body is going to be the thing that you're feeling. And so you've probably experienced this. Like if you've ever went into a room after an argument and you feel the energy of that room, that's clairsentience. You picked up the energetic, residue of, the argument. And so you can kind of feel that. And that's the clairsentience that is coming out. And a lot of times, like in my readings, like the way that comes out to me is I like that. Like if I'm talking about a specific event or a specific person, their energy starts showing up. Like I start feeling what it, like I might feel angry, or I might feel anxious, or I might start giggling, or there's just, and I like, well, that's weird. Like, where's that coming from? And then it's just, it hits me. Oh, that's not mine. That's for this. Okay, I get that. Or I might start getting weird sensations. A lot of times that's how we get a lot of our intuition guidance, is in our feeling system. So you might get like like a shortness of breath would indicate like someone's like struggling to breathe, or like there's little, like you got to catch like different. I'm having trouble trying to put this one to words, but you have to pay attention to anything that's happening in your body, because it is giving you message about what is happening, with the story that's coming out. A particular person, it could be the person you're reading for, or the storyline that's coming out, but it's coming out with your body. And then the last one is claircognizance, and that is clear knowing. And that one is the hardest one to describe, and it's the hardest one to trust, because it's just, you don't know how you know it. You just know that you know it. And I mean, I feel like that we've all had feelings like this too. It's just, you just know it. You feel it in your gut. You just know that you know that you know. You don't know why you know it, but I just know. I just feel this is just, I just know. I just know. And so like that's the claircognizance. There's not a way to really explain it other than that. It's just you just know. And it's like a supernatural kind of knowing. And so I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions is one, how are we getting our information? And so I think that it's important for people to understand how, the person you're working with is getting to the information. Because if you have a certain expectation of how it's going to go, you might not be working with them the most appropriately. So understanding that, um, one, I get a lot of the messages out of just words. So a lot of people don't like when I read from the guidebooks, for especially the oracle cards, but they don't understand, like, literally that's where the messages are coming from a lot of the times for me. Like, I will get the hits as I'm reading. It's like that one, this, that. It's just like it's just this constant thing that's happening in my ear the whole time I'm reading that book. And then like I'll stop, and then it's just like, bam, there it goes. And if they'll just give me that chance, like, you're gonna get the part that you're waiting on. You will get that, but you got to let me do it in the way that it's natural for me to do. I'm still learning how this works for me. And like I'm gaining the confidence of just knowing this is my process. This is how I do it. It's not the way this person might do it. It might not be the way that you've always seen it done, but this is my process. I know that the words are valuable to me because they're unlocking information for me. One little word could be the whole reading for me, but I've got to find it. I've got to have the access to it. So while other people might just be able to just look at the cards and get everything they need just off the visual of the cards, which would be the clairvoyance in that, I don't have that as my strong, gift. I'm using what is my strongest gift, and it is usually the clairaudience, and it's going to be through the words. All right. Any other misconceptions that I want to talk about? Well, and we've talked about this too. I don't like for people to think that I'm going to tell you your future. I don't want you to be that dependent on me or anyone else to have that much power on your life. So I can show you, and I explained this in that live that we did last Friday, is that the way that I see each tarot reading is it is a potential timeline. And this is the timeline that you are on right now. And so timelines are basically just choices. They're just choice points. And so you've made the choice that puts you right where you're at right here. And if you continue on this path that you're currently on based off this choice that you made right here, this is where it's going to end. If you don't like where that ends, this choice that you made, if you don't like where this is ending, you now have the insight to be able to make a different decision. And so, we'll ask the question, well, I don't like that. So what can we do to not end up in that place? And so then we can find our workarounds, and we can get you to where you're actually wanting to be, and not just, well, that's just what the card said. That's where you're ending up. No, that's the choice you made right here. You're being given the opportunity right now to make different choices because you're being given the insight. And, it goes back to, the future has not even happened yet. And so let's don't try to predict the future. Let's create the future. Yes, this choice has consequences. The choice that you are on right now has consequences. So that's what we're seeing. What are the consequences of this choice? It's going to end you up right here. I don't want to end up there. All right, let's find out how to get you around that. All right. So I think that that's probably the biggest misconceptions that I want to talk about. I think that's enough. So hopefully that helped answer your question and give you some more just understanding of how this process works. And anything else you want to know, just let me know.